Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 87 Sports Fans Radio. The show is 87 Live. I am your only illustrious host tonight, Keith Grieve. Thank you for joining us, folks. Steve is out with a prior engagement for the next couple weeks. So, that being said, you wonderful, wonderful people who are listening have the explicit pleasure of listening to me rattle on with all of the thoughts that bounce around inside my head. A reminder that this and every broadcast is brought to you by CG Imaging. That's cg-imaging.com. CG Imaging, virtually creating reality. And if you want to join the conversation, the phone number to call in is 585-633-7487. Once again, that's 585-633-7487. You can also email the program at youguyssuck@87sportsfans.com, or the most interactive way, the way the kids do it these days, on the Twitter. The hashtag, or the handle rather, is at 87sportsfans. And if you're still one of those people that uses Facebook, we do have a Facebook page. You know, it's on its way of being out of style, I guess, but I'm in my late 30s, so I'm going to officially be behind trends. I've come to that conclusion. I'm okay with it. I'm going to be like the last one. Like, if I had been this old when MySpace went out, I would be one of the last hangers on. Guaranteed. It's one of those things. It's one of the sad truths of growing old. You just get behind things. You don't realize. Like, I'm glad that I wasn't this age when tight-rolled pants went out of style, because I would have been rocking them into the mid-90s. And that would have been quite a sight. So, a lot to talk about. I'm going to start off with some March Madness and then go into a little bit about the NBA draft and one-and-dones. Bounce around the Major League Baseball. That's all in the first hour, folks. And then at the top of the hour, Jim Sarantias from thefantasygreek.com, the Twitter handle there, at thefantasygreek, will join for the NFL hour and give you all a little bit of relief from talking to me. So, in case you didn't notice, the men's college basketball national championship was going on over the weekend and into Monday. And freaking UConn. I mean, honestly. I look, they call it March Madness for a reason, okay? It's not March predictability. You know, it's March Madness for a reason. And a team like UConn that can fly under the radar like they did, and then end up winning the whole damn thing. I mean, I've heard people talking, and it wasn't a serious discussion, but some of the major networks that want to drive the conversation on sports, I'm not going to say it, ask the question: does something need to be changed about March Madness? What on earth would you change? Because a team like UConn, that your experts, none of your experts, and no shame here, I didn't either. None of your experts had them in the Final Four. So because your guys look like fools, you got to start asking the questions. Well, maybe they need to change March Madness. So these same people that have a problem with the men's basketball tournament are also the same ones pushing for a playoff tournament in football. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference? The next time Alabama is the wire-to-wire number one ranked team that loses in the second round of the football playoff, or whatever system they come up with, you're gonna try to go back to the polling system. I understand the BCS wasn't perfect, but we have short memories. We're humans, right? So we spend all fall rallying for a playoff system in football. And then you get to March Madness, and because certain people feel like, it just cheapens it when a team like UConn wins it all. No, it doesn't. I fervently disagree. with that perspective. It's a flawed perspective. If you have it, I'm sorry, you're wrong. I don't mind telling you. There's a philosophy, a saying, a vignette, a colloquialism, if you will, to use the big words, that defense wins championships. And UConn played, for the most part, phenomenal defense. You look at their free throw percentage allowed throughout the tournament. First round, they went to overtime against St. Joe's. They allowed St. Joe's to shoot 50%. Not anything to write home about. Next round, Villanova, 35.5%. They get to the Sweet 16. Iowa State, they give up 46.4%. But then, starting with the Elite Eight matchup against Michigan State only shoots 39.1. Can't crack 40% on them. Florida, who I had and a lot of other people had picked for the go to the final, 38.8%. And then finally in the championship game, Kentucky with a 39.1 field goal percent for the game. That's not cheap. They went out there and played. They played the game that they play well. And your golden boy, Calipari in Kentucky, couldn't figure it out in time. They fell behind early, big, and then had to claw back to make it seem like there was any kind of chance. And UConn was just the better team that night. Play two more times, Kentucky might win 2 more times. I don't think so. Five 585-633-7487. 585-633-7487. So UConn wins the championship by a score of 62-54. 6 points, right? Kentucky shoots 13 of 24 from the free throw line. He left 9 points on the floor. And if Steve were here, he'd be rattling this away with me because it's the same thing. It's the same thing that we've said time and time and time again, that it doesn't matter what level you are at. There is absolutely no excuse for not being able to shoot a free throw. I don't care if you're 7'3". I don't care if you're 5'4". It's the only aspect of sports that absolutely can be replicated in somebody's backyard. Oh, sure, you don't have the crowds cheering or anything like that, but the hoop is still 10 feet tall, and the hoop is still 15 feet away. There is no excuse for not being able to shoot a free throw. There's no excuse to be missing 9 as a team. 54.2% from the floor. And you want to talk about Calipari going to the Lakers. Calipari is in the level that he's supposed to be teaching. You don't teach at the pros, obviously. And I wrote a piece at 87sportsfans.com today about just the fact that Calipari rumor exists just goes to show that things really can get worse for the Lakers. But Kentucky, hey, they had as tough a road as anybody to get there. Kansas State, Wichita State, Louisville, Michigan, Wisconsin, who probably wasn't everybody's favorite, but it's a good team. And then they get to UConn. And the team that executed their defensive game plan, surprise, surprise, won. So with those 2 games against St. Joe's and Iowa State, the 50 and the 46.4% respectively, they ended up surrendering 41.5% field goals for the tournament. For the season, they're 39.2%. For the season, 13th in the nation. From the Elite Eight on, they matched that, 39%. That's not getting hot at the right time. That's who you are if you're UConn. big credit to Kevin Ollie. Big credit. And you just got to tip your cap. Now, I'm based out of Rochester, New York, so I am by default a Syracuse fan. And through the years of the Big East, I have grown to hate UConn, despise UConn. It's that healthy sports hatred that I've talked about in the past. Being a Bears fan, Packers. Met fan, Braves. Don't bring up tonight's game. Syracuse, Georgetown as well, but UConn is probably right underneath there. And Pittsburgh, just because they always seem to beat us. I say us like I was on the floor. I always hate people that do that, and I just went and did it. 585-633-7487. 585-633-7487. So, with the finale, the ending of the Pièce de Résistance, that is the national championship game. Now we have the flurry of announcements of college players that are heading to the NBA. And so today, Kansas center Joel Embiid, 7 foot flat, 250-pound center from Cameroon. I don't really care where these players come from. I just wanted to say Cameroon. But going pro after 1 year. So what did he do in Kansas? What does he have on paper that we can try to begin to dissect? Well, played 28 games. Shot 63% from the floor. 63% of the floor. Averaging 11.2 points per game. Only averaged 6 shot attempts a game. But that percentage looks nice, doesn't it? It does. And he hit 69% of his free throws. So he's already on my crap list. I don't know. The NBA has to do something about this one and done. If for no other reason than protect their brand. You hear in with the NFL, Roger Goodell talking about protecting the shield. Well, the NBA needs to, forget about the integrity of the shield or the brand. You need to just protect the quality of basketball that's being played out there. I went through and I did some digging, and I didn't have time to do every season to establish a true trend. But I started with this season, and I went every 5 years. So obviously, this season is 2013, 2014. So then I jumped back to 08-09, then 03-04, then 98-99, 93-94, blah, 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 blah. And I averaged the top 5 players' player efficiency rating, the PER rating. I picked that because, and again, no statistic is perfect, but it's kind of a standardized indication of a player's performance on the floor. And it's standardized so that the average is always 15. So if 15 is always the average, then whether you're up or above that, then you can kind of compare year to year, which is really what statistics are meant to do anyway. So yes, I know the 2013-2014 is not over yet. But I was always taught that when you use the word but, it totally erases everything you said before. So I'll say it again. But the player efficiency rating for the top 5 players this year, according to basketballreference.com, is 22.66. It has not been that low in the years that I looked at since 1968 to 1969, when it was 21.62. Now, different game back then, obviously, different stats, different level of stat recording, so there could be some anomalies. So let's just go year by year. Shall we? We shall. So you had 2013, 2014, The PER average of the top 5 players is 22.66. Then you jump down to 2008 and to 2009, and well, if you're looking for the anomaly in what you're trying to say, that would be it, because it jumped up to 28.7. So, what are you talking about? 28.7 is pretty good. The game's never been better. You look at who the top 5 players. LeBron James in Cleveland, remember, 31.7. Dwayne Wade, 30.4. Chris Paul, still on the Hornets back then, at 30. Dwight Howard at 25.4, and Kobe Bryant at 24.4. So you have 3 players in the 30s. As I did my research, not all that common. Okay? So, without further ado, you go down to 2003, 2004, the average is at 25.98. 98 to 99, that average is at 25.92. 93, 94, where I feel was really the NBA's heyday, the middle of the heyday period. It's after the Magic and Bird era. It's when Michael was playing baseball for 2 years. So it's right in the middle of Michael Jordan ruling the basketball world. So 93, 94, where basketball is kind of in the middle of its heyday, you have 26.12 is the average. Okay, remember 22.66 this year. In 88, 89, 26.92 was the average. That is probably the peak of NBA basketball in my mind, as far as overall quality of play. 83, 84, that average was only 23.76. Still higher than this year, though. 78, 79, the year before Magic and Bird arrived, that average was stayed steady at 23.86. And 73, 74, that average was 23.18. So right now, this year, 22.66 being the average of the top 5 players in the NBA for player efficiency. If you're a stat geek like me and you like that advanced stats, basketball-reference.com. There's a free plug, folks. To me, it tells me the overall quality of performance in the league by looking at that. And the top 5 players this year: Kevin Durant, 30.3. LeBron James, 29.2. Then Kevin Love, 27.2. Anthony Davis, 26.6. DeMarcus Cousins, 26. It gets watered down really, really quick. So there you have it, folks. The NBA is really in danger of muddling itself, because the NBA draft is almost as pointless as the Major League Baseball draft. It really is. It's sad to say, because you watch the first 3 picks of the NBA draft, and when I was coming up in junior high and high school and really cared about the NBA draft, like must-see TV, find a TV somewhere and you got to watch it. You had these memories of these players in college and watching them, progress and go on to tournament glory sometimes and whatnot. Now these guys are only in college 1 year. You don't even know who these guys are. Most of the guys, it's hard to say you've seen them play unless they had, unless they were in a high-profile program. And then you throw in the European guys as well, and I'm not taking anything away from European basketball players, but we don't know them. So you watch the NBA draft, and you're hearing names after pick 4. If you know the rest of the first round, if you know 20% of the names picked in the first round, good for you. And go get a girlfriend, because obviously you've got too much time on your hands. There is an issue in the NBA. Forget about the physical play, the clutching, the grabbing, the flopping, everything like that. That's all stuff that comes and goes with time, and players adapt to that. The problem with the NBA is that not enough people really get there knowing how to play the game. And there's no teaching that goes on at the NBA level, like I said before. Nobody learns in the NBA. You need to apply your trade. Unless you're an athletic, physical freak like LeBron James, who just does everything really, really well. The next star after LeBron, if it's Kevin Durant, if Kevin Durant is it, is Kevin Durant a complete player? I'll throw that out there. You guys suck at 87sportsfans.com is the email address. Is Kevin Durant really a complete player, defensively and offensively? The NBA is in trouble, and they better figure it out in a hurry. You're listening to 87 Live. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will bounce around Major League Baseball. We'll be back in a few minutes, folks. Enjoy the music. 87 Live on 87 Sports Fans Radio. 87 Live on 87 Sports Fans Radio, powered by 87sportsfans.com. Thank you all for joining us again. Keith Grieve taking you through the second segment of the program. All by myself. That's the last time I sing, I promise. I want to share the efforts of my compatriot, Mr. Steve Taylor, who has a nice little website for his... he's an author. He's a published author. S. Taylor Books. Staler Books. And his first published effort is the Lockbox, available through your Kindle and on paperback, and also through Barnes & Noble. For the last 85 years, a secret once thought lost has been hidden away from the world. Its whereabouts have been kept safe in the hands of one of America's greatest spies, but now the shadow organization Echo has tracked down his location to the small town of Shoshone Peak, and they will stop at nothing to get their hands on the map that will lead them to their prize. Across town, Sam and Emily Lana are spending their days in solitary after being grounded for their latest altercation. Each day they see the elderly Mr. Kerr walking with his silver lockbox and wonder what secrets are within it. As fate would have it, the two would soon come into possession of the box, and with it the firestorm of violence that would follow. The two must find a way to stay alive while also finding answers to what secrets lie within the mysterious lockbox. And once again, The Lockbox by Stephen Taylor. All right, folks. A little baseball. Baseball's back. Looking around the scoreboard, just underway. Well, top of the second. Angels and Mariners are still scoreless. The Mets put 3 on in the ninth against Craig Kimbrell, but still fall to the Braves. Irvin Santana wins in his Atlanta debut, 4-3. The Indians over the Padres, 2-0. The Marlins and the Nationals are all tied up in the top of the eighth at 6 apiece. The A's beat the Twins in 11 innings, 7-4. The Brewers over the Phillies, 9-4. The Kansas City Royals over the Rays, 7-3. Cubs leading the Pirates in the bottom of the eighth, 7-3 as well. Padres over the Indians, 2-1. The Tigers won the Dodgers 0 in the bottom of the first. Red Sox beat the Rangers 4-2. The Diamondbacks leading the Giants. The poor Diamondbacks. They're leading the Giants 3-0 in the bottom of the first. Starting the season in Australia, and have not been able to find that rhythm early on. Struggling 2-8 so far. The Blue Jays beating the Astros 7-3. The Cardinals losing to the Reds 4-0. Orioles over the Yankees 5-4, so it's a good day. And the Rockies beat the White Sox 10-4. So yesterday was the 40th anniversary of Hank Aaron passing Babe Ruth on baseball's all-time home run list. And, well, I heard and I read some tweets, and people, still want to call Hank Aaron still the all-time home run king. He hit. Yesterday was the anniversary of 715 or 714. 715. He went on to hit 755 total. Bonds obviously passed him with 762. But there's always those questions about Barry Bonds that will never go away. They just never will. 585-633-7487, by the way, is the phone number if you want to call in. 585-633-7487, or you can find us on Twitter. And you guys suck at 87sportsfans.com is the email. But there's always those questions about Barry Bonds. They're never going to go away. Barry Bonds is Barry Bonds in and of himself. He's not going to ever be able to shake the skepticism. Even if somebody found some Barry Bonds DNA from the early 21st century and tested it, and it came up negative for steroids, you will never be able to convince the public, and including me, that he was clean. It's just not possible. It's a bunch of Oh, what's the best way to put it? Crap. That's all I got. It's a bunch of crap that a human being can be as rail-ish. He wasn't thin, but he was a skinnier player, and he had a lot of pop, a lot of speed. He could always hit home runs. Barry Bonds' natural ability was never in question. But past the time when the male body starts to give up on itself, he starts getting bigger and thicker. And there's no amount of working out. It was purely unnatural. And the fact that he still just denies it, and he smiles that coy smile as if to say, yeah, you're never going to catch me. So you all might as well just drop it. There will never be any damning evidence. You'll never be able to take him out of the record book. You'll never be able to put an asterisk by his record. But we all know. Barry, we know. And because of that, you will never be the home run champ to me. You are lumped in the sea of crap with Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Rafael Palmeiro, Jose Canseco. I even go so far as to hold Brady Anderson in that lot. I'm a grudge holder. I am. It's not something I'm proud of, folks. It just isn't. But I am a grudge holder. And anybody that cheats the game like that, I have no room for, and I will never support. I just can't. It's like Ryan Braun. Okay, I have a little handwritten rundown in front of me, and I was going to talk about likes and dislikes. One of my dislikes so far is that Ryan Braun is playing so well. Oh, Keith, you should really, that's not, Yeah, well, I don't want to hear it. The way that he misled, thumped his chest when he was obviously lying. Again, I understand you don't play baseball based on character. But there's just something rotten about him inside. Something about the lack of soul to be able to do that and put your teammates in that position. And at the end of the day, just, oh, my bad. What'd you want me to do? I wasn't going to fess up to it. That would just be stupid. Dragged that courier through the mud. The guy that got blamed for quote unquote screwing up the first sample. Made it look like we were all wrong for judging him and jumping to conclusions. Then it turns out we were right all along. F him. I'm done. 3 home runs against Philly. That's another reason I hate Philly now. You couldn't even silence that jackass. Just got on my bad side. Hank Aaron will always be the home run king to me. Back on topic here. Because he did it the right way. And he did it for a long time. I think that's the one part of Hank Aaron that, I mean, I guess the fact that the man hit 755 home runs, I mean, the guy came up to the Milwaukee Braves in 1954. A 20-year-old kid in 1954 hit 13 home runs. Then jumped up and hit, played in 122 games in 1954. 1955 played in 153. 27, 26, 44, 30, 39, 40, 34, where it's 1961 now. 45, 44, 24, 32, 44, 39, 29, 44, 69 now. 38, 47, 34, 40. Hit 20 in 112 games in 1974, the year that he broke the record. Then played his final 2 seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers. Managed to hit 12 and 10 in his sunset years. 23 years. His 162 game average for his career for 23 years in Major League Baseball. His 162 game average is 37 home runs and 113 RBIs. That kind of consistency over that length of time is beyond rare. Beyond rare. Won an MVP in 1957. Was an all-star every year, but his first and his last. Not that really means anything, but Hammerin' Hank. I still can't get over that. 23 years. A 928 career OPS. Fantastic. Those kind of guys are the guys that I like to watch. The guys that do it year after year and bring it year after year. Not the flash in the pan. The guys that had the money go to their head. They get tied up in drugs and hookers and whatnot. Hank is what was right about baseball. And on the anniversary, sir, congratulations. All right, moving on. Major League Baseball renames its end-of-season reliever award for Mariano Rivera and Trevor Hoffman. Okay, Trevor Hoffman saved 600 games. Absolutely had a fantastic career. Do I think he deserves an award named after him? And I get why they wanted an AL and an NL award, and we're in the era of interleague play. All right, does the AL and NL being separate really matter anymore? I mean, all that much. I understand they're different games. One plays cyber baseball where it's 10 on 10, and one plays real baseball where it's 9 on 9. See how I got my little DH dig in there. But Trevor Hoffman, if you were to close your eyes and we played a game of word association, and I said the word relief pitcher, you're only going to say Mariano Rivera. You may say Lee Smith. You may say Dennis Eckersley. You won't say Trevor Hoffman unless you're a Brewers or a Padres fan. Nothing against Trevor Hoffman at all. He's got 601 saves. But his reputation, I guess, is definitely, without a doubt, in Mariano Rivera's shadow. He's had 40, looking at Trevor Hoffman's save totals, going back to 1994, 20, 31, 42, 37, 53. You don't save 600 games by accident. You don't. He averaged 33.4 saves for his career. But he got that. He appeared in 50 games in 2010, his last in the majors, and saved 10 and blew 5. It ended with 601. It's just not the same. I'm sorry. As Mariano Rivera. Mariano deserves to have both awards named for him. And you know how much that hurts to say coming from a Yankees or a Mets fan? Mariano averaged 34.3 a season, and that's with a shortened 2012 where we only saved 5 games. He saved 44 in his final season, blew 7. Saved 44, appeared in 64 games, saved 44, and blew 7 on a team that didn't make the playoffs. It's not nothing. Does Trevor Hoffman belong in the same breath as Mariano Rivera? Yeah. I have a very, very hard time with that. I just do. I just do. You can call me crazy if you want. There goes that crazy man again. But I digress. So, bouncing around the Major League Baseball season so far. Who's leading going into tonight's action, by the way? San Francisco Giants 6-2. And the Seattle Mariners. Way to go, Seattle. Hey, maybe Robbie Cano's paying off dividends after all, huh? I know, it's only 1 week. Everyone just relax. Robbie Cano batting .346. 9 for 26 to start the season with 6 walks. Hey, I still hasn't had a home run though. I was one of the guys that said he's not going to be the same Robinson Cano in Seattle, but I know it's 1 week. Let's not get crazy. It's like trying to say that the Mets are back after Bartolo Colon's performance last night. And then they trot Zach Wheeler out, and they fall behind 4-0. Wheeler barely makes it past the 5th. We can't get ahead of ourselves. How much of a mess are the Mets right now? I mean, can't even get into that. Can't even get into that. And you know, the Mets Twitter account tweets today, you know, that the bullpen has settled down nicely and it had 7 scoreless innings going into tonight's game. And I tweeted back, way to totally ignore the way that Jose Valverde loaded the bases and Jason Hayward flew out to the warning track. And then you get the 19-year-old smart asses tweeting back to me. Still scoreless. Still scoreless. Yeah, well, you're not going to be for very long. No crap, still scoreless. Really? Twitter is the best thing about society and the worst thing all at once. Absolutely, without a doubt. And as I just start talking about Ryan Braun earlier, he hits a 2-run triple during the 8th inning. The Brewers win 9-4 over the Phillies. Aggravating. Something else I like, Pittsburgh 5-2 seems to be picking up where they left off. I want the Pirates back. If they bring back We Are Family, hey, more power to them. Leading the league in run differential, the Seattle Mariners right now. I'm telling you. You get off to a hot start in the AL West, you absolutely cannot fall behind. And we talked about that a couple weeks ago. The AL West with the A's, the Rangers, and the Angels, who, yes, they just lost Josh Hamilton for an extended period of time today, but the Angels are the wild card in that division. The Astros, we know what they are. They're crap. But the Angels are the wild card because they still have Pujols. You know, when Hamilton's healthy, they still have Hamilton. Oh, yeah, and they got some guy named Trout. The pitching, C.J. Wilson, Jared Weaver, Hector Santiago, Tyler Skaggs, Garrett Richards, doesn't really wow me.